So today we're going to be making a man out of aluminum foil, and then we're going to be making also a moon. So it's called Man on the Moon Project. And so I'm just going to show you how to make a simple figure out of aluminum foil. So what I did is I just had, I bought these rectangular foil sheets from the Dollar Tree, and then I'm going to show you basically where you're going to be cutting on this sheet. So basically we're gonna find the halfway point of our paper, and we're gonna just draw a line in the halfway point, but don't bring it all the way to the middle. So you have two lines, and then we need a line at the bottom. So run your fingers and find the middle and bring a line up, but not all the way up. And then up here we're actually gonna need two lines. So find about a third of the way across. So you're gonna split the top into thirds. And that's kind of what your outline's gonna be to cut on. If you're doing this with younger students, you might just wanna have this prepped already so they can just cut on the lines. So that's what we're gonna do next, is we are gonna cut on the lines. It usually ends up being like two snips. So 1, 2, 1, 2. And obviously be gentle because aluminum foil rips super easily. 1, 2, and 1, 2. Last cut. And 2. So we have all of that cut. Now we're going to crinkle the foil to form the body parts. So we're going to start with the bottom leg, and it's going to be kind of loud, so I won't talk while I'm doing it. So just do that kind of gently, and then we're going to do the other leg. You're going to kind of fold it as long as you can. And then we can do the arms. The arms sometimes get tricky because you don't want to rip the head off. If you mess up, it's okay. It's super easy to try again. So it's starting to kind of look like a figure, and then we're just going to crumple the head down a little bit. And then from here, we have the body shape, right? The torso, legs, arms, and then this is when we can kind of crumple it a little bit more and define our character. So I'm just gonna go ahead and do some adjustments. I'm basically just compacting it a little bit more. But you don't want to squeeze it too hard or you will lose your shape, and he will be a very flat figure. I feel like that looks pretty good though. We've got our arms and we've got our legs. So my man is done. Looks pretty good. And then what I have in my art room typically is a bunch of circular palettes. So we're gonna trace around it with a pencil. Let me grab a pencil. This is gonna be our moon. So we'll just you can always use a bowl or a plate to trace a nice circle. It's kind of hard to see on black paper, but there is a nice circle around there for me. And then what we're actually gonna do is we're gonna also use aluminum foil as like a stamp, and then we're gonna stamp the paint into the circle to make the moon. So it's a good way to practice printmaking with your students. So I'm just gonna rip some and crunch it into a ball. And then what I have here is I have white and black paint, and I'm actually gonna mix it a little bit together. So I have some gray. Maybe a little bit more white. And this is basically our ink, right, that we're gonna stamp onto our moon. This is a super easy, fast project. So we just basically dip our stamp and then we're gonna transfer it into the circle, right? It gives good texture. You can scoop from the white too. You can even scoop from the black. And what we're doing is we're trying to just fill in the circle. Right, you might decide to drag it in some places. Mostly do some little texture pieces. And this is probably going to take a little bit of time, so just be patient. And I actually need a little bit more paint. And I might actually make another one to stick with, a little bigger one maybe. Let's try. The moon's got these big craters on it. So that's the general idea, is that you're going to be making your moon for your character, and so you'll end up with something like this. And you can even have them kind of stand up on your moon. That looks kind of fun, right? We got our man on the moon. If your printmaking isn't going very well, you can always just take a brush too, or like a sponge, and just apply some paint that way. It's kind of hard to get really good coverage with using the aluminum foil, but if you want to kind of show that round curve, you might want to use a brush to get that. And there's my moon. I might kind of mess around with it. And I think it's done. So there is my man on the moon project. You can do this. I'm using this for my Space and Robots summer camp, but you can also use it if you're learning about the solar system or Neil Armstrong, or just a fun craft with your kids. So hope you enjoyed.